Woo! Greetings one, greetings all. It's been a while, hasn't it? But it is time for a ghost story. We haven't had one for a while, and I want to hark back to probably... it was the time when we had that heavy snow. Probably about 1977, somewhere around that time. And I was friendly with a couple of lads in town, and we used to goof around a lot with sort of seeking out scary, haunted, or places that were, you thought, well, that's got to be haunted because it's so old. And there was an old abandoned house that we found around the back of the hospital, past the cricket field a little bit, and up the bank, and up there was an old stone house. I can't quite remember exactly where. Probably last time I saw it was possibly about 15 years ago, and all that remained was a couple of the stone walls. But in probably 1979, it did still have its roof on to some sort of degree, and this plays an important part in the story. Now, we'd got this Ouija board, which has subsequently been burnt. We had some adventures with that, I can tell you. Anyway, we had this Ouija board, and myself and Bay and this other lad, Chris, we scurried down, and it was a winter time. It was probably October, November, but in those days we used to have snow, and the whole place was covered in snow. And we walked down past from what I remember, the canteen of the hospital, past a huge chimney, down the track as if you're going down towards Kings Mills, then across past the cricket pavilion, and then up the bank. Then eventually, after what seemed like an interminable age, we found this old abandoned house, which of course we'd identified before. Now, it was probably 4 o'clock, 4 in the morning, so it was lightish when we were setting off, but by the time we got there it was dark, and that was done for a reason. We set up the candles. Very important, of course, to have the ambiance, to add to the spooky effects. And I tell you what, it was scary. You do that, you go to an old abandoned house when you hear nothing, there's no wind, there's nothing. You've had a fall of snow and everywhere's deadly quiet. It is dark, it is getting dark. You light the candles, you smell the smoke. You set the Ouija board down, and you look at your friends and you look in their eyes, and I tell you what, it was a scary sight, but we were into those things at the time. Okay, well, you may realise that I used to like to goof around with such things, though I don't anymore, and I don't advise anybody ever to mess about with this sort of stuff, because it can play tricks with your mind, at very least. We decided to ask some sort of questions, and it spelt out. It was something like M-R-V, M-R-V, and it sort of repeated it, if that's the term I could use, but it would just spell out M-R-V, M-R-V. Now, I'm not sure what the little thing was called. It's like a planchette, I suppose you would call it. It would go M-R-V, M-R-V. Didn't understand what the hell was going on. We lay it down for a while. Now it gets a little bit... now. We lay it down for a while, and we had a smoke. We used to like to have a smoke and a special brew. It was like a very cheap beer, and also you could buy some wine which was called Cap Bomb, which was 99 pence a bottle of wine, which was very, very cheap in those days. That was incredibly cheap, because wine was quite expensive in those days compared to what it is today. And we decided to set it up again. We were expecting M-R-V, but it didn't happen. What it spelt was get out now. G-E-T-O-U-T-N-O-W. And it started again. Get out now. Get out now. And suddenly the planchette threw itself away. Well, I was at the what was left of the door. What was left of the door, I was out of it. They got out of it, and then suddenly the roof fell. Part of the roof fell onto where we were sitting. Now, coincidence? The roof was covered in snow, The roof had not had any work done in it, and it was obviously rotting away. We ran hell for leather, down the slope, across the cricket field, up the hill, back past the canteen of the hospital, and I went into the nurse's home. These two lads, I think they must have kept running all the way past Trevelyan, up Pentland Street, back into Brinsayon. Did we continue to mess about with the Ouijas? Well, we did. It was a scary episode, but it wasn't quite enough to turn us off it for life. Eventually, of course, there was an occasion when it was time to put away the Ouija board in the safest possible way, and we had to go and consult about how to dispose of it, and that's a story for another time, really. Anyway, thanks for listening, and be careful around such things. Bye for now, time to go.